want to do. The main one we are concerned is the fourth one, the competition task. And if you want to manage the waypoints, is the fifth one on the top right. The difference between the third and the fourth, so a route or a task, is that with the fourth one, you set the radius around the turn point, and then it will automatically switch from one turn point to the other when you are in the zone. While with the third one, the task, the simple route, then you will need to switch to the next turn point manually. So in a certain way, it's much easier to set up a route with the third one, but you just indicate which turn point you want to go after. But you will need to turn the turn point manually because you will never reach the exact turn point, otherwise it's just a point. So these are the four different types of navigations. And what is important to understand is that depending on the navigation, you will have pages that will be displayed. So when you will go into the preferences page layout, then you will have this window, and you decide for each page which one you want to be displayed according to the navigation type. So basically, when we are in competition mode, the fourth one, then you will need to activate logo here so that you will display this page for the task navigation type. So if you want to create a waypoint, you have different ways to do that. One of the ways is to, as we said just earlier, toggle map mode, and then you keep your finger on the map, and then you create a waypoint. If you want to create a route, then you also have different ways. One way is to do it from waypoints, the way we set up a task, for example. We just take the waypoints and then we set the radius. That's one way, but you have also other ways like the toggle map mode. So if you just want to do an XA and just on the map say I want to go there and there and there, just do it on toggle map mode, add the point to the route, the two or the three or fours and so on, and then you have a route very easily set up. There is also a third way, is to use some tools, some online tools. There is a friendly Air tool or FlyXA, and there you have a map on your computer. You can easily set the different waypoints, and then basically you will have a QR code, and with the QR code you just scan it and you have it on the XA track.
Is there a difference between in-flight and on the ground before you start flying for these menus?
You mean the toggle map mode with the contextual menu?
Yeah.
No.
Can you do this in flight, or can you do it just do it on the ground?
Normally you do that on the ground. You don't do that while you are flying. But these ones, for example, are not there. Maybe if you test it, because you need to have downloaded the
If
airspace.
I'm flying and I want to go to a waypoint, there's a different menu?
No, you can. So while you are flying, you say, now I want to go to that town. Then you just toggle map. Then you put your finger, and then you have the navigation tool. So you can also use this feature here. So then you don't need to create the waypoint and so on. You just say, I want to go there while you are flying.
Your waypoints are like, if you have waypoints set up, they're on the screen now, right?
Yeah, but you see a small dot. It's not very easy. If you are really flying, you say at a certain say I want to go there, then it's easier to do toggle map. You put your finger, navigate to, and then you have the arrow that will drive you to that point.
Thank you.
And so when you have created the task, you have the QR code sharing. You also have the cloud task code sharing. So whenever you have the task, it's much easier for everyone to have the 4-letter code, and then everyone can encode the task without having to scan the QR code. That's another way to do it, and pretty convenient. I think we did that already on the chat, on the WhatsApp chat. 2 or 3 things about track logs. So I will not go through all the menus because it's not really making sense. One thing that is quite interesting is to have enable the claim to expand test automatically. So as soon as you have landed, your track will be online on your logbook, online logbook on your X-Contest account. But you have to enable that if you want that to be done. Otherwise, you will need to upload it manually. And of course, whenever it's online on your X-Contest account, you have all the details of the track log whenever you are on your account. And you have all your flights that are on your X-Contest account. So whenever you have an XA track downloaded on your phone, not with the Air³, then you will have a toolbox. So the XA track that you download on the phone is very limited, so you need to design it by your own. With the Air³, everything is already pre-configured, but you can change it. You can change the configuration. But if you have on the phone, then you really need to customize it to make the different windows. So when you swipe down, you go to Customize menu, then you have all these widgets that you can very easily change. So you can delete, add new widget, resize by holding the corner. You can move them. You can configure the widget by either you go to the Configure button or clicking on the center. When you click on the center, it's like Configure. One thing that you need to remember is that the portrait mode and the landscape mode are totally different. So it's not because you have configured a landscape mode and then you put in portrait that you will have what you have designed before. Because the portrait is completely different, so it will not reconvert the landscape into portrait. It's really two different things. So there are many widgets, so we will not spend time on the widgets, on the list of widgets, but we will see later some specific widgets that are interesting to check. So when you click on the center, you can configure the widget. The ones that are the most important are the XA map widget and the task map widgets, because there you really have maps and many different things to configure. Thermal map. So within the XA map or the task map, you can enable the thermal maps, and then you will see where the thermals should be. So the thermal, when I say should be, it's because it's depending on the database. It's not depending on the specific day where you are flying. It's based on database that is called KK7 from Switzerland. And you have two different settings. So you can either decide to use the basic thermal overlay, which means that you will see the thermals not depending on the time of the day and the date in the season. Or you can use the adjusted one, will then only display depending on the day, the time in the day, or the date in the season. So for example, winter, summer, fall, spring, display different things, and depending if you are in the morning or in the afternoon, you will have different settings. Display.
What would be the advantage of having the standard over the adjusted? Because it would seem like you use the adjusted.
I use the adjusted. Yeah.
Is there any pros and cons to using the standard?
Yeah, if you want to know where the thermal should be, maybe later in the day, and you are flying in the morning, but then you use the general one.
So if you're just flying the adjusted.
Yeah, I think it's more useful. Yeah. Of course, it's not hour by hour, so it's not really an adjusted based on the single hour of the day. So it's morning, afternoon, evening. I think there are three settings.
How can you look at that? If you're planning a flight, how can you step through the hours of the day to look to see?
No, then maybe you should then use the general one.
Yeah, but that doesn't tell you at the time of day. So
No.
You can't step through the hours. Okay.
But you need to be online to have that, do you?
Yeah. When you are online, it will download it, but then you can be offline and you will still have them. Yeah. But to get the thermal overlay, you need to be online, so it's directly downloading and then it holds it. Yeah. But if you move and you are not online anymore and you did not display the map at that time when you were online, then you will not have them. It's really the map that is displayed.
And you can display the map in any zoom range. So if you zoom right out, it will grab everything for that zoomed out area, or you have to be at a certain level of zooming and
Yeah, I'm not completely sure, so I cannot answer. Yeah. So of course there is a difference between the thermal map and the thermal assistant. The thermal assistant is your thermal in which you are, but that's a specific page thermal assistant. You can have a different way to display your thermal. The one that you see on the left is the one that I prefer, is what we call the e-ink display. The e-ink display is only black circle that are larger if the thermal is stronger, but you can also choose the color one. But then you need to know the color code to know if it's strong or not. In the preferences, there are many things that you can set within X-Track. We only spend time on some specific ones, not everything. In the live tracking menu, that's where you decide to enable or not the live tracking, the X-Contest live tracking. But that's also where you can activate the electronic conspicuity, the Safe Sky one. So that's something that is free with X-Track, so it's if you have the Pro version. So it's always something that can be done in addition to other things, because Safe Sky try to get every type of anyone that is flying within the map to avoid collision. That's the main goal. So it's collision avoidance, like a little bit like FLARM, but based on internet. So with potential lag, which means that it can work, but you should not rely on that to avoid collision. But it's just something additional to make sure that you might be seen by others if they use also Safe Sky. Of course, if they do not use Safe Sky, they will not see you in any case. So, but Safe Sky is more and more used worldwide, so it's always a good thing to activate it so that you also be seen on the Safe Sky map. It's something else that can be interesting. Electronic conspicuity. And then to make sure that you understand the difference between the X-Contest live tracking, FANET, FLARM, and electronic conspicuity Safe Sky. So X-Contest is a live tracking platform that are used by a lot of paragliders. So it's quite convenient to be there, because then you can see a lot of people on the X-Contest, see your friend, they can see you, and so on. I think it's definitely the largest paragliding platform for live tracking, at least worldwide. Maybe in different countries, some are using XA Globe, some others I think you are using another one in Australia. Maybe which one? Is it X-Contest also that is the most used, or you have another main live tracking in Australia?
X-Contest would be pretty heavily used.
Yeah.
FlySky is the other one.
Yeah, but FlySky I know is in X-Contest.
Oh, yeah.
So in the past it was not. Now FlySky is can be seen in X-Contest, so it brings many others. Yeah.
How do you turn this on again?
The X-Contest live tracking.
The conspicuity, yeah.
So X-Contest live right now I was talking about X-Contest live tracking. You just enable in live tracking in the preferences. Then if you talk about the electronic conspicuity, the Safe Sky, it's also just a little bit below in the menu. You have Safe Sky. And then you just click to enable it. So X-Contest and Safe Sky are based on the internet. Yeah.
I'm just trying to do that right now. I've got the edit username, ECID username binding. So I had the ECID up, and then when I put my name in, the ECID disappeared. I don't.
Okay, let's check that afterwards.
Upwards.
So these are based on internet. So of course you need an internet connection to use both X-Contest and Safe Sky. But FANET and FLARM are based on radio communication. So then you need a radio module within your device. So Air³, if you have a plus version, you have the FANET and FLARM module within it. And then you have FANET and FLARM. So FANET and FLARM are two different protocols, two different things, let's say two different features, but based on the same hardware. So the hardware is a chip that sends information like if you did it with your radio, and you receive also data through that module. The goal of FANET is to also be a kind of live tracking, is to see people on your map and be seen by other people on their map. So that's the goal of FANET. while FLARM, the main goal is to avoid collision with mainly sailplanes. How do you say it, sailplane or gliders? How do you say it? Same? So in Europe there are some places where there are a lot of sailplanes and where there are a lot of cohabitation, or where you really might face a sailplane that is very close. So then it's very, very useful. So it's depending, of course, on the country and where you fly. But sometimes it can be very useful because in Europe most of the sailplanes have the FLARM alarm system. Here it's a FLARM that mainly communicates your position, your altitude, your speed, your direction, so that the FLARM calculator can calculate if there is a potential collision, but it doesn't give you that alarm that sailplanes have. So the FLARM alarm system is a pretty big device, very costly, that sailplanes are using. But in any case, it doesn't make sense when you are seeing the sailplane on your map, because with the Air³ you can also see the FLARM signal on the map, but it really goes very fast on the map. So you cannot do anything even if you know, because you are nobody, not moving.
Is it? It's not. There's no intention of bringing the whole OGN thing as well into XE-Track.
So you could have OGN on your XE-Track, but that's something that we will see later. But through XE Guide.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What's
Open
power?
wide.
What power to have the
What power?
Yeah, does it use more power? Does it use more power?
It's like nothing.
What's the range?
It depends, of course, mountain and so on. It's really like the radio, but basically the range is enough with the potential collision. You don't need any way to be seen by FLARM if they are 50 kilometers away. So it's like 10, 15 kilometers if there is nothing in the range. Very similar to radio. Maybe the radio is a little bit more if there is nothing, but not much more. Other things about preferences. We talked yesterday about obstacles. That's why also you can activate the obstacles in the preferences, airspace and obstacles. And regarding the maps, we will talk a little bit later about the maps. But if you want to make a special rendering of your maps, you will see there a special place where you can put your XML file to describe the way you want to render your maps. But that's more for the techies. If you want to use a special XML, make a special rendering, then you will have a special XML, and then you will put it in that specific folder that you will indicate to XE-Track. That's what is done with the Air³ with a special XML file to enlarge the cities, mainly. So this is actually what I was talking about just right now. So if you have a special XML, you will put it there. You will put it in a specific folder and link it to XE-Track. So you have, in terms of maps, you have terrain. How do you pronounce that? Terrain? Terrain. So you have the terrain. So the terrain is the ground altitude. You have the maps that are the road maps, so routes, forest, things like that. And now with XE-Track, it's pretty easy to add a new map. In the past, it was a little bit more complicated, but now you just click on download map. If you travel outside Australia, you just click on download map. You have a list. You click on the country, it's downloaded, and that's it. So it's pretty easy. When you do that, don't forget to activate the map on the left. So these are the maps that are on the device, but if you did not click on it, then it will not display. Other things, key bindings. Later on, we will talk about the XET add-on. There is a new feature now in the key binding, is the launch Android intent button, sorry for the T. That allows you to link a button with some new features. So if you want to have to make a new feature with the XE-Track add-on, then that's why you will link your button with this action. Automatic action is where you decide what etc. will do automatically. Like when you start the terminal, when you end the terminal, when you are taking off, when you are landing, when you cross the turn point. So you have different actions that you can set there. Connection and sensors. That's if you are using a phone with an external device. That's where you will make a link with your external device that you connect by Bluetooth, for example. With the Air³, it's also, because everything is integrated, but that's also where you activate the FLARM and FANET module. So in the internal sensors, you will have FLARM and FANET. That's how you activate the module to have FLARM and FANET features. IGC replay, nothing much to say about that. Live tracking. So when you have activated the live tracking within the preferences, then you will have the live tracking menu. And when you click on the live tracking menu, then you will see all the pilots that are around you 15 kilometers away. But if you want to see additional pilots much further, then you swipe down and you will then see all, where is it? There. You will see then a much longer list of pilots by swiping down. And of course, the advantage is that when you have pilots, and then when you click on the square, then you see them on the map, including the track log, which can be quite useful when you are flying with other people. But then you really see the track logs of the people you are flying with on the map. And it can also be useful to see where the terminal was if you are a little bit late, because then you will really see the pilot track.
Can you go back one slide?
This one?
Maybe another one?
The big one?
Yeah, so I was just trying to mimic what you do.
So no, when you click on live tracking, you have only the one that are 15 kilometers away, but if you swipe down, you just do once, then it will refresh with a much bigger list. You need to be connected on internet, huh?
Oh,
I guess.
I'm going to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so live tracking, and of course, when you are live tracked, then you also seen on the X-Contest web pages, the live X-Contest web page, so that if you have a retrieve or something like that, then they can see you, and it's pretty convenient to find the people of the group. And when you have these guys there, if you click on the person, then you can send a message. So maybe I can also show you directly on the device. So when you are in XTrack, sorry, it's not there. Live tracking. So I swipe down. So now I see these people. If I click on it,
Sonia, send something to Sonia. Send a message to Sonia.
Was it Sonia?
Sonia, first on the list.
But how come I need to swipe down?
Okay,
Send one to Gavin.
Oh, Gavin.
So yeah. So let's say I click on Gavin, and then I have some pre-recorded messages. So if I click on bad conditions, go landing. If I click send, I will send a message to him,
No way.
and then he will receive the message on the device. I will not do it.
It's only going to Gavin.
Oh, that's you.
Actually, can you write, I'm in a tree, please retrieve me.
Land safely.
Did you get it, Gav?
Not yet. Where does it show up?
So normally it should show up nearly automatically. Oh, but no, it should be normally.
It just comes up as a banner.
Oh, it comes up.
Yeah, it's a banner. Yeah, but you change the layout. See? Yeah, but that's the layout. So normally you have a special widget with live tracking. With the default layout, you will have the widget that will display it.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's displayed, but only for a few seconds.
Okay.
Sorry?
I think so.
Yeah, you can change that. So if you want to add new messages,
Don't use it if you're going to turn the speed and just for the
Can Gavin, although it was displayed as a banner for only a moment, can Gavin review and see the message now?
so basically, if you take the live tracking message widget, you can decide how long you want them to be displayed. By default, on the Air³, if you take this page, on the upper side. So here we have the wind, the weather station on the top. But when there is some messages, then it will replace the weather station, and then you will have the list of messages. So live tracking. Yeah, I think. So that's the live tracking messages. And that can work from anywhere in the world. So I had sent, when I was in Belgium, Anatole was flying in Manila, I could send him a message.
How do you reply?
So,
Go
normally,
go into messages. The two messages there. You can see your message.
I don't remember. Normally you have to see me, but I didn't take off. Maybe that's the reason. You need to take off to be seen on the live tracking list.
Just written down the phone.
So normally the way it displays. So this one displays for 1 minute in the bottom, and then where on the page that I showed you, then it keeps the messages forever. Yeah, just the quit button. The reason I put it there is that some people don't understand that to quit really etc. You really need to do the menu quit. If you just do the round or the back button, it will not quit etc. So you think sometimes it's not there anymore, but it's still there. So it's really menu quit to quit etc. So some.
Bertrand, you had a display up there a moment ago that had the weather stations.
Yeah.
You weren't talking about weather stations, and you're going to cover that right
No, no, but I can do it right now.
Yeah, if others are interested, I am.
So basically, it's one of the widget that you have with Xtrack is that you have web page. So web page widget, and one pilot did develop. It's Xspion, I think, or let's so I just it is this one.
Oh, it's a widget.
So XA Windspion. If you use XA Windspion, but you have an AirQ, normally you should have it. If you use the layout that comes with the AirQ, you will have it. So with this, you have all the weather stations that are the closest one.
Will they display on the map?
No, it's weather station that you see there, but not on the map.
And that's worldwide stations?
Sorry?
Is that worldwide?
Yeah.
So just to be clear there, you turn up anywhere in the world and turn on, if you've got that widget enabled, you will find
The weather station, the closest weather station. Yeah. And if I do like this, I put it in front.
Mine often comes up with.
You have many actually. You can as many as you want, but here I just display the first ones.
It's got to be on a web page.
That's a web page, yeah.
Okay, a web page, thing.
You know what you can do? You can export the config, then your AirQ manager can use the AirQ default so that you have everything, and then you can import back your configuration.
Bertrand, are you doing any more preferences?
No, but if you have questions,
I have a question. Yes, yesterday my screen was dimming while I was flying, and was that a function now of brightness or this overheating?
No, so there is a sensor that will detect the light, that will change the brightness.
Yeah.
If you do not want this feature, because normally it's supposed to have the right brightness according to the sun that is on the screen.
Yes.
But if you shade the sensor, then it will think that there is no more light, and then it will dim it down. But if you don't want that feature, then you need to disable it in Android. In Android display, then you have dynamic display.
So I played with that. I just wondered if it's asking me to shut it off, which I have. Is that going to cause
you to shut it off?
Is it necessary to turn it off? So in Android, I'll just first.
So it's not linked to preference anyway. There is nothing in preferences, it's a track that do that.
Okay.
It's linked to Android.
Yeah, so I've gone on to Android and it's asking me to turn it off permanently. And I'm just trying to let
So let's go to some more advanced feature of X-Track. One rather new thing in X-Track is the new map rendering. At least it's new compared to 2 years ago. So now you have a special way to render the maps with what now we call map style. So the map style is basically two things at next to each other. You have a map type and a terrain type. And with the new feature, you have a map type that is, let's say, transparent. That's the one that we call ClearPilot. So ClearPilot is a map type that shows the roads, the forests, and such type of things, but not the additional stuff that were in the previous map types. So if you have used X-Track in the past, you had different map types, like light pilots, or so there were different ones, but they were kind of complete types, which in a certain way were hiding the terrain, the relief. So now with this ClearPilot type features, you can see much better the different relief of the ground. And next to that, you have the different terrain type. You have three types. You have light, dark, and X contest. That's something we will see right now. So now I've removed, on these maps, I've removed the road map type. It's only the terrain type. So you have the light, the dark, and the X contest. Dark and the X contest are both quite dark. The difference that you can see is in the valley, it's green or it's more gray. So depending on your preference. And so basically when you choose in your X, say, map or task map configuration, you have to choose which style you want. And the style is a combination of road map type and terrain type.
So Bertrand, if you've got the old ones, how do you put the new ones on?
Just a new choice that now you have. So if I go to X-Track and I go to the customize button here, map configuration, and there you have the different things that you can choose, road map and terrain style, and there that's where you will choose basically. See here, ClearPilot, forest, and light. So you have this combination of things. With the Air³ you have custom style, because I'm using a special XML that I made, and the light terrain type.
You have to have the up-to-date version for that to be
The version of X-Track.
Yeah.
It's pretty usual to update regularly, so don't hesitate to update X-Track.
some.
Yeah.
So Bertrand, any top tips? What's the best configuration?
Usually, if you take the Air³, it's what I think is the best. Otherwise, I will not put it like that. So if you see this way, my XML is basically the ClearPilot, but I have made something to make the cities larger. Because I think that by default it's not large enough. But basically
It sounds
here,
like a good idea. The cities are very hard to read.
there.
The text on the cities is very hard to read.
All right.
There is a large text.
The hole is there. But there is a lot of rain that hides everything.
Can you do something about that?
I can
Delete the rain?
You know, if you want to delete the rain, you just go there.
Yeah, I know. Yes.
Like this. I remove the rain. And so an additional thing. Yes. Yeah. So an additional layer that you have on the map is also the map overlay theme that you see on the left there. And the map overlay theme is an additional layer, which is the layer that is designed. The main one is the triangle layer. So here you see the triangle information. So if you want to see the area where you need to fly to make a nice triangle, that's the overlay type, overlay theme. That also will change the color of the line in front of you, but basically doesn't change much. Yeah, just a reminder, in many widgets you have to choose between north at top, navigation at top, bearing at top, heading at top, downwind direction at top, or travel direction at top. So the difference between heading and bearing, heading is what you really face, and bearing is where you go, as a reminder. So depending on the wind, if there is no wind, heading and bearing are the same. If there is wind, crosswind, then the bearing will be different from your heading. If you want to see your position towards the airfield, that's also in the map configuration that you need to activate the show relative position in pan mode. So if you want to enter a zone, then you need to call the tower and say where you are because you want to enter the zone, then it's quite easy. So you have, when you are in toggle map mode, then you will have the cross in the center. So you just put the cross in the airfield, and then you will see your position towards the airfield, and then you can announce your position and what you want to do. Another particular thing in the map widget is that that's also where you can decide if you are close to an obstacle to display a special warning. So if you are very close to an obstacle and you have activated the obstacle warning, then you will have the whole widget that will change and that will have some danger and with a zoom on the obstacle. But that's thanks to the fact that you have activated the displayed show alert screen when approaching an obstacle and automatic zoom in emergency obstacle mode. Means that you will really have a zoom, automatic zoom that will be displayed. Yeah, just a reminder about what is point, optimized point, and cylinder. So basically point and cylinder will show you the same direction, while optimized point, of course, is not the same because it's optimized depending on the route. The difference between point and cylinder is the distance, and depending on the widget you are using. If the widget is a calculation of time linked to the time, then of course it will not be different if you calculate up to the point or up to the cylinder, but the direction will be the same. Is it clear for everybody? Yeah. Another small thing to explain, sometimes when you are flying you can see two different things here, solid and an empty circle. So the empty circle is the glide distance based on the configured glide ratio and trim speed and computed wind. So the wind is always taken into account, but it's basically theoretical with the wind. While the solid one is really depending on your current glide ratio. So it doesn't take into account what you have set up within the preferences. It's basically your current glide ratio. So of course also taking into account the wind. It always takes into account the wind. The first one, the empty one, is more theoretical but with the wind. The second one is really depending on your current glide ratio. Calculated current glide ratio. When you customize the layout, you have different things that you need to take into account. The first one is that you can have different layers that you set on your layout, and you can send to front or send to back some widgets. So you can have a widget and then another one above it, and another one above it. So you can have multiple widgets layout. So that's one thing that will be taken into account to display different things. Another thing to take into account is that you can also, for each widget, decide the transparency of the widget. So you can have a widget and then in the back have another one, but because you make it transparent, then you can see both. Basically, that's what we can do to have information like the speed and to have the map in the back, for example. And a third thing to remember is that you can also have widgets that can be hidden when they have nothing to display. So this is typically what we do in competition. We have some speed to start, for example, before the start, and then you have you display the speed to start before the start. But then when the start is on, then it will disappear. Same with the end of speed section widgets or goal widgets. They will only display when you are approaching the goal, but before that they will not display anything. So interesting to do is to have some widgets behind, like for example zoom in, zoom out. So you can put the zoom in widget behind the map, or the zoom out behind the map. So then of course when you click on it, then it's pretty convenient to zoom in or zoom out. So for example, if I take my X-ray track, so if I click in the upper side or in the lower side, I can quickly zoom in, zoom out on the map. So it's pretty easy to navigate within the map.
So the plus and the minus just show it's half of the screen.
Yeah.
Anything on that screen is up. You don't have to press the plus or the minus button.
Yeah, you just need to click on the upper side. So if I click my finger, then you can see it. You see it now? You see the rectangle? Martin, do you see the rectangle now that I click on it?
Oh, okay, yes.
If I click on the lower one, you can see it. So it's the area. So if basically I go to customize, you can see behind here the widget. So I draw the widget and then I say send to back. So that's why it's in the back. And then of course now if I click on it, you can zoom out or zoom in. The plus and the minus are just a reminder. And on the right here I have the switch to the next turn point or switch to the previous turn point on the left or on the right. Then I need to keep my fingers.
So I use that sort of same function, but I swipe up to get the pan mode and then it's top of screen.
Yeah, that's another way, but then you need to do two things.
Alright.
So if you do swipe up, and then you can do it, you can move the map, but that's different. Because then you need to swipe up and then go out of it.
Get back out of it.
Yeah.
Well,
It's more convenient, I think, when you do normal navigation to have the widgets.
just to, well, okay, got you.
So these are linked to the action. So switch turn point, zoom in, zoom out. That's pretty convenient to do it this way. Behind the scenes. Yeah, for example, in the terminal assistant, because there you have no zoom in, zoom out, that's where I've put the brightness up or the brightness minus in the back. So I can also increase my brightness or decrease the brightness on the terminal assistant. So if I show you this, I go back to X-ray track.
To do a modification to get that. Sometimes I'd like to change that.
You can, yeah, it's the customize thing.
No. You can customize it on the fly. While I'm flying, I want to go zoom in, zoom out.
Yeah, that's what.
That's what. Thermal system.
Oh no, terminal assistant you cannot change the scale.
Yeah.
Because it's not a map. It's something that is calculated based on your terminal.
That would be a nice feature for a modification.
It's when you understand the
While I'm flying, I don't want to go into the settings to change things. While I'm flying, if I want to change it, that would be nice. Be able to do it on the fly would be nice.
But you cannot, even not on the fly, when you are not flying, it's not possible to change the scale of terminal system.
That would be a nice modification.
Okay.
It's a feature I would like. It's not there.
But which one?
If it can't be done, it can't be done.
There's two things. Zoom on the map will change the size of your thermostat.
I want to try and change the size of the thermostat.
Okay, so you're zooming on.
So that's something that
on
is
the
not
map's
possible.
easy, and it doesn't work beautiful, but it doesn't work on a thermal. He wants to have it on the thing.
Yeah, but it's not possible if you understand what is the terminal system, because it's a calculation, or it's not something that is that has layers, that has zoom levels, because it's drifting all the time with the wind.
Yeah.
So it's not something that can be, or otherwise you will.
I want to display it this size, I want to display it that size. So the calculations are the same, but what you're displaying is different. So there should be some way of doing it.
Yeah, basically.
They don't do it, so don't worry about it. Don't waste time on it.
What you can do is to have, for example, I have a weather scale,
Yeah.
so that you can see it from another point of view.
Yeah, but I can't change that while
No,
I'm flying.
no, you cannot. Yeah. You
And I'd
cannot.
like to be able to change that.
At least that way you'd have two scales available for you.
Yeah.
Display.
Could duplicate the whole page and make
Okay.
it what
Right.
what if you want.
One whole page you can do that. If you've got it on a quarter of the page, you can't do that. It's too small. So it's just not possible.
I just overlay it over the whole map.
Bertram, with regards to brightness, if I change the adaptive brightness in Android, does that have any follow-on effects using Extratrack?
So
I've turned the adaptive brightness
if you
off.
disable the dynamic brightness, it will just not change automatically, but you can still do whatever you want with the brightness. Okay. So just a reminder of the widgets that are directly linked to competition. So before the start, you have 3 widgets: time to start, time at start, and speed to start. Personally, I only use the speed to start. It is very, very convenient. You have also, yesterday, while he was explaining to someone the different points, the leading point that you get according to where you are in the task. If you use the percentile or speed section, that you really know if you are in the right range where the leading points are the most important, between 25 and 60%, I think. So then you see where you are in the task in terms of percentage. And when you're approaching the ESS and the goal, then you have distance, altitude over, and glide to that will be displayed. And they will only be displayed when the calculation is minus 1,000 meters below the ESS or the goal. So you can customize the sound, so we'll not spend time right now on that, except if there is anyone very interested by that. And that's the end for the Extratrack part. So let's go back now to the, I'm going to do it like this. The next one. So it's not anymore Extratrack, but they are linked to Extratrack. So one of the new application is the Extratrack add-on. So Extratrack add-on is the Extratrack add-on that I will give you some information. For info, Extratrack add-on, Air³ Manager, and Air³ Upgrader are all now on Play Store. So it means that if you upgrade with Play Store, then whenever there is a new version, it will be automatically upgraded, linked on your Google account. But you can also make the upgrades manually, but now with the Play Store, it's automatic. So basically, what is the Extratrack add-on? It's an application that receives information from Extratrack. So all the events of Extratrack are sent by Extratrack to Extratrack add-on. So it can be the normal Extratrack event like takeoff, landing, cross the ESS, I've crossed the start, I've crossed the goal line. So there are many events within Extratrack, but these can also be the events that you have designed by your own within Extratrack. So there is a widget that is a customized widget, so that basically whenever you click on that widget, it will send the information to the Extratrack add-on. And then with Extratrack add-on, you can do many different things. I'm going to explain a couple of them here. So basically you can take a picture with your GoPro, start a video with the GoPro, you can launch an application, you can have some Telegram features, you have also the export to a server feature, so that as soon as you have landed, it will export the track log to a specific server. You have Zello. And you have one of the main features of the X tetragrammaton is the new instant variable. So basically, this is the way it looks. So basically, you set up what you want to do with the X tetragrammaton, and then you will have different category of what you will do with it. And for each category, you make the link between the event and the feature you want to have. So, for example, if I'm using the sound feature, I can say that when I cross a turn point, I want to play a special sound. Because with X-Track, you have always the same sound. That is the bing. That's the only sound that you have with X-Track. With this, you can design whatever sound you want, and whenever you cross the turn point, that you will have that specific sound. Same for start, for goal, for ESS. Airspace, yeah, there's also airspace.
Just went big, so I'll put that on and now.
Yeah. And then you have a much different sound.
Can they be WAV files of speech?
It can be whatever file you want.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever file you want. Yeah.
You can actually say space 40. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. If you record it and you have your sound file, then you can do it.
Or next turn point reached.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I get my sync alarm to say pull up?
So again, so the trigger will be the X-Track event or what you have designed linked to a widget. So, for example, X-Track do not have an event for sync. So you cannot say at this minus level, that's a trigger. So there's a set of triggers, but not everything. So basically, that's the settings. That the way how you want to say, I want this feature and this feature and this feature. So you can configure your GoPro, Telegram, Zello, export your track logs, design your server.
What is Zello doing for you there?
You know Zello already or not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm using Zello, so how can I?
Yeah, basically, there is no big advantage, but you can have a widget, the Zello widget, and then you just click on it within X-Track, so you don't need to go out anywhere.
Yeah.
And you can also use the button. So if you link the button to Zello, then you can talk with the hardware button. And because X-Track is in the foreground, then it will catch the button trigger, and then use the Zello feature.
Zello does an overlay button if you want it anyway. But
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's why
it doesn't have a lot.
it add a little bit, but not that much.
The safe landing built in.
Yeah.
It's not going to be just an automatic. You have to have something to say.
I will explain right now.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So first, I will explain about the instant value. So the instant value is using the accelerometer and the gyroscope. So basically, it's really direct. So with X-Track only, you use only the pressure sensor. And basically, when you use only the pressure sensor, there is a small lag, less than half a second, but still a small lag. When we use the accelerometer, then there is no more lag. It's really instant. So that's the advantage of using the X-Track add-on instead of the X-Track sound, because with that you really have the instant information. And you can also use the weak lift feature. And the weak lift feature, basically what it is, you have 3 sounds in a row, and it's not anymore based on vertical speed, it's based on altitude change, which is a little bit different, because whenever you have the 3 sound, the 3 sound will be exactly the same if you are not going up or down, but you will have the third one that will be a little bit lower if you are going down, or a little bit or higher if you are going up, with a resolution of 15 centimeters. So basically, or you can decide, you can change it that if you want, but basically you will have these 3 sounds in a row that will really tell you if you are in a very small tunnel, telling you if you are going up a little bit, down a little bit, or you will stay at the same level. This will be between minus 0.5 and plus 0.2. Of course, if you are going lower than minus 0.5, then you will not hear it anymore. And when it's above 0.2, then it will be a normal variable.
It's based on accelerometer.
Accelerometers,
Yeah. And just vertical accelerometer. What about any?
So it's not.
Any pitch roll.
It's not what's called the total energy variable. It's not the same thing. So it doesn't take into account your speed and your conversion of speed. But basically, if you move like this, then the gyroscope are taken into account. So it will take everything into account, accelerometers and gyroscope, so that if you move this way, it will take that into account to know if you're in a vertical speed, absolute vertical speed.
He's calculating just the vertical.
Yeah, absolute vertical.
Pitch and roll, it's ignoring those and just.
The main challenge is to calculate the true vertical.
I'm not quite sure on how an accelerometer actually is going to tell you what your vertical speed is, because if you don't get a constant vertical speed upwards, there's no acceleration at all.
So that's why there is a combination of pressure sensor and accelerator. The accelerator is really taking into account when you start.
Okay.
It really starts when you accelerate, basically.
So it's a bit of an add-on to the pressure sensor.
Yeah, sure, definitely. It's a combination of both. It's to avoid lag.
Okay.
But as soon as you have the information from the accelerator, then of course the pressure is also there to bring additional information. And whenever you use the X-Track instead of the X-Track, then you can choose also different type of sound. So that's another feature that I wanted to add, because some people say I want to have a different sound. So you have different types of sound. Some will prefer another one, the pulse, another one, the sawtooth. So you have different choice of sound. And that's also where you basically decide if you want to use the weak lift or not. In the configuration, you want to go back there. So that's where you decide.
I see. Enable weak lift.
Enable weak lift, yeah.
Where do you explain into that?
That's the configuration of the vario. When you go into the settings of the X-Track add-on settings, and then vario. That's within the X-Track add-on, not X-Track anymore.
Okay.
So it's another application. Yeah. Then you go out of that, you do main screen, then settings, top left,
Settings.
yeah, then vario.
Okay.
Wow, this was 10 minutes ago. Maybe I had to make a show. The config of the task map or the XM app is where you decide to have the mark glide distance. Yeah, and then you have mark glide distance. Yeah, I mean quite below. It's mark glide distance. Okay, so X-Track add-on vario, new vario. So that's sorry, move. And so you can basically it's activated thanks to X-Track. So whenever you take off, the X-Track trigger takeoff will tell the instant vario to start. So you will not hear before. But you can also activate it or deactivate it with a widget, like what you see on the left. And you also have a notification, so you can also activate and deactivate with the notification. So there are 3 ways to activate or deactivate it, but by default it's automatic.
What's affecting you is to use the flexibility.
Yeah. Yeah. But you can test others. My experience is that it changed quite a lot when you test it on the ground and when you test it in the air. When I was in the ground, I don't like it, but I will still put it because people will like it. But then when I test it in the air, I like this one. I like this one.
that button there, the XC Air, that's is that customizable when you pick up screens, or is it only on that screen that's open?
You mean the widget on the left?
Yeah, the widget.
You need to create a widget.
Yeah,
for that. Okay, so that's the way to activate or deactivate. So basically, when you land, it will also deactivate the vario, similar to X-Track. So you will not have the sound anymore. Telegram. So if you use Telegram, it can be also quite useful. With Telegram, you can send messages, you can send your position, and you can send both position and messages. and that can be either triggered by XATRAC, like when you land, you can send a message and your position, or you can also do it with a widget. Now, the safe landing feature. So basically, what is the safe landing? Maybe I can also show you directly, so it's more convenient. So basically, when you are in the XATRAC add-on, when you land, you will have this big window that will appear as soon as you have landed, and it will ask you if you have safe landed. So if you do nothing because you are injured, then you have a sound, a reminder. So I have a reminder that I need to click on it, otherwise I will do something. And if I don't do anything, then there will be what I've designed, what I've set up to send. So basically it will be your position and a message that you have pre-configured. And so that's the idea, is to have, and you also have a notification and you have the message. So if you don't do anything, then the message will be sent to either the Telegram group where you need to send that, or to an SMS that we have defined. And if that's an example, if I have not clicked on the message, this message is sent. If I have not validated the safe landing confirmation, it could be an oversight, but it might be also useful to call me to make sure that everything is okay. So a message that is not alarming too much, but still.
This is Telegram only?
So it's either Telegram or an SMS.
Yeah.
Yeah, WhatsApp do not have an API that allows to do that. Telegram has a bot that is very convenient to do that. So basically, you enable either SMS or Telegram, or both, if you can also have both. And then you define do not send timeout after how many seconds you want to send the message, and after how many seconds you want to play the reminder, in case you want to make sure that you have a reminder that may also play many times before it is sent. And you decide which sound you want as a reminder, of course. So that's the safe landing feature of the XATRAC add-on. So that's just to show the. So you select the message, and then the same with the SMS. So you configure which contact to send that to, and which message you want to send that. Yeah. So that's the safe landing. Now there is also a GoPro feature, so that you can also command your GoPro within XATRAC. So you need to link your GoPro to the app, and then you can start the video, stop the video, take a picture, turn off the GoPro with direct widgets. So like here, you can wake up the GoPro, take a photo, start video, stop video.
I have to go back to the question about sending messages when you land. Can you link this to your inReach, for example?
No.
No. Okay. You just need to have cell phone reception.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the GoPro. This one is the Zello one. So basically it's also the same. So you enable Zello, you have different links that are made automatically. So basically most of the time, whenever you enable a feature, all the links between triggers and action will be made automatically, but you can change them. And so that's what I put in the intent launcher in the bottom. So you need to choose the widget that is called intent launcher, and then you define what is the name that you want, what is the event that you need XATRAC to send, and then the XATRAC add-on will understand that and do whatever you want. You can also launch an application, again with the trigger you want. For example, in Belgium, when we fly during the week, we need to launch a special application when we are in a specific zone, in order to make sure that if there is anything special, a special tower, some commandants can send us a message. That's called EBSH tower. So if we want to fly in that zone, we need to have the application that is running. So it's very convenient to just launch the application whenever we need to launch it. it needs to run in the background. So you can decide if you want to launch it in the background or in the foreground. And we also have the export feature so that you can export the track log automatically to a given server. Right now there is no iCloud integration, but Geoff just sent me some information this morning, so maybe I'll try to put that additional one. So as soon as you land, boom, it will be automatically in the iCloud. So basically, currently you have, this is what you have. I'm also in contact with Ralph of Safa. You know Ralph? He's the developer of the Safa things. So he has asked Safa to be able to develop an API for the Safa upload. But so far he did not yet receive the authorization to make the development. So as soon as he will make it, then we will integrate the Safa server there. So we will automatically be able to upload the track log there. So that's the export, mainly linked to when you have landed. And then you will know if you have uploaded it successfully or not. Sound, so that's what we discussed earlier. So basically you can link a specific sound. You can choose which sound you want and play it with a given volume, and then have the sound according to your wish. You can also do additional stuff, so you can make some custom events. You can decide within X-Track add-on to define a specific name. So you can have the new Zen event there. And within X-Track, you create the new Zen event within the widget, and then it will recognize it, and then you can link it to whatever action you want to do.
Right.
So that's basically what is explained there. So you use the Intent Launcher widget. You just put the right name on the right there. So here, new event, and then and the name that will appear there. And then whenever you click on the widget, you will do the action that we have defined within X-Track add-on. So that was the X-Track add-on. So the X-Track add-on with a normal phone can be also used, but you can do one feature. As soon as you will try to create another one, it will say, sorry, that's available for one feature without Air³. But with Air³ you can do whatever you want. All the features are available. So basically, if you are Australian and you just need to export to iCloud, you can use your phone, use the iCloud export when it will be done. And then as soon as you land, then you can use it to export your track log with your normal phone.
Have you done just with iPhones now, like with our phones, if it's just a text message, can you go to satellite?
Sorry, again?
Oh, well, with our phones now, not with the internet, it can only be a text message, but you can text message to the satellite now, to the satellite network. Without, not to do with your, you know what I'm talking about.
There's capability now. Starlink, for example, with our Australian and worldwide service providers, where your standard phone can send a text message through satellite networks directly, not through mobile networks.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. So I wonder, could it be done through that feature through just a text?
Yeah, well, I think so, because you said you can configure for a text message, not a...
To a contact.
Yeah, so yes,
so
it would work. It would be via satellite.
So that's an interesting
thought. But you need the device to be able to do it.
Yes, and that's what we're saying. Our standard phones now,
if
depending on the plan you're on,
and
if it's a late model phone, can send a text message to a satellite.
Okay.
I'm confused. So you have to have Starlink for this?
No. You need
iPhone.
Telstra, for example, offers all their customers if their phone is a later model phone. It doesn't have a satellite modem in it. It's the satellites themselves have a mobile base station. It's a recent addition. If your phone does not have coverage and you are on this carrier and it's just one phone, it'll say, I can't find a mobile network, I'll use that satellite.
So that will work as hotspotting to your phone.
But only text messaging.
So no SIM card in the Air3, just hotspotting that to your normal cell phone, to your iPhone. That messaging will get through.
I don't know this exactly. Zen seems to say yes.
Except it can't be data, it's got to be text. Yes, you can't use data.
But you need a phone if you say to do that.
Yeah, most of the phones now. WhatsApp doesn't work. Has to be Telstra network.
Telstra has to
Starlink has to be
Reach an iPhone, you can do that?
Apple and Android, but it's got to be up to the last couple of months, not old
So Air³ Manager is another app within Air³, but this one cannot work with another phone, so it's only for Air³. And the Air³ Manager has different features. One of them is to have a way to configure the whole tablet. Because in the past you had to do it more manually. Now with the wizard, at least when you receive it, it's much more convenient to configure the tablet. But even afterwards, if you want to reconfigure the Air³ the different way, you can use the Air³ Manager. So basically, you choose the profile that you want to use. You can choose if you want live tracking, no live tracking. And that's also where you choose which sound you want for the vario. If you want to use the XA track or the XA track add-on. So depending on what you will do there, then the application will configure XA track and the XA track add-on according to your choice, to not have both at the same time. It's also Air³ Manager that will launch the apps when you start the device. So to launch XA track to launch the XA track add-on, you can also launch XA guide when you start the device. So that's the way you define that. And once you have finished the wizard, you can always go back and use the button on the top left, the profile change, if you want to change again the profile. So change again the vario you use, or change again if you want to use the basic version of the profile or the more advanced version. That's why you do it. So on the top there, or you can also change the profile there. And if you're not anymore in the wizard, that's why you can go back to change which application are launched automatically in the settings when you launch the device. It's more for support. If you need support, go there and click on the email, and then you will have all the information that will be sent. So it's much more convenient to do support when we know which device it is, which Android version it is, and so on. And then Air³ Upgrader allows you to also check that all your apps, the main apps of Air³ are up to date. So if you launch Air³ Upgrader, it will check the version that are available on the servers and the version that you have installed. And so if everything is green, it's perfect. If you have anything yellow, then don't hesitate to click on the upgrade button, so it will upgrade the version, so that all your apps, your main apps, will always be up to date.
Where do you get to that page?
That's Air³ Upgrader. So if you have not yet Air³ Upgrader, you have to go there.
Okay. Different app.
That's another app. Yeah.
Okay.
So here we are talking about 3 different apps. XA track add-on is one app. Air³ Manager is another app. Yeah. And Air³ Upgrader is another app. But you can launch them directly from Air³ Manager. So if I go back to Air³ Manager here, there, you see, if I click on the bottom left, XA track add-on, Upgrader, then you can launch the app from there.
And they're all very light on resources.
Yeah, but Air³ Upgrader, it's only running when you are on the ground to update your apps. Same for XA track add-on and Manager. So yeah, we also have a special Play Store version. If you go on the Play Store, again, the advantage of going to the Play Store version is that then once you have done it once, then it will be automatic. You will not need to go back anymore into the XA track upgrader, because then it will be automatically upgraded directly within the device that will be linked to your Google account. The thing is that if you use the Play Store version, you need to have put a Google account. If you have no Google account, it cannot work on Play Store. But it will not work unless you have made once the update within Play Store, the automatic upgrade. Sometimes XATrack do not update the public version as soon as I do it with XATrack. So if there is a newer version on our server that is not yet available on Play Store in XATrack, then you will see the difference. And then you can still upgrade XATrack from our server instead of the Play Store. So basically they publish it whenever they have a lot of beta testers that have tested it and so on. So sometimes it takes time before they are publicly releasing it.
So you have the same for XC Guide as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you can, in the Air³ upgrader, you can also set a scheduler so that after a given time period, it will remind you, check if you have the updated version or not. That's also another feature there. This is not very important. Let's move to the last thing I wanted to share about XAGuide. So XAGuide is also another app that is developed by Indy. I know if someone know Indy, yeah. So that's a British nice person. The advantage of XAGuide, he has developed a lot of communication between a lot of different things. A lot of live tracking, for example. So you have Log2Me, you have XAGlobe, you have many live tracking. So basically you can configure XAGuide to go and grab a lot of information from live tracking. So that XAGuide will then grab all this information within XAGuide, including, for example, Open Sky. And Open Sky are all the commercial traffic, so all the planes. And what you can do is that you can make a link between XAGuide and XATrack, so that XAGuide will send all this information that it has grabbed to XATrack, so that you can also have on your map all this information that has been grabbed by XAGuide. So if you do that, you need XAGuide to run. That's why you can activate within Air³ Manager the launch of XAGuide automatically, so that it's automatically launched. But you also need to have configured the link between XAGuide and XATrack to do that. And that's what we are going to see there. So basically, you can see that you can have on the flight radar the map of the planes that are basically within XAGuide, and you can bring all these planes on the map of XATrack, except that it will not be displayed with a plane. It will be a red dot. Not as convenient, but still a feature that exists.
And those examples are shown in the lower image, aren't they?
Yeah,
red dots, yeah.
So the red dots are the planes that are shown above. So when you want to do that, is it there? Yeah. So basically you need to go into the sensors of XATrack and configure a new TCP client sensor, so that XATrack will listen through TCP what XAGuide will send it. And within XAGuide, you need to activate the local server feature. And once you have activated, normally by default it will work. You can change the port and so on, but basically if you don't do anything, it will work by itself. So you activate the local server within XAGuide, and you activate the TCP client within XATrack, and then both will communicate. And XAGuide will send all that information that he has taken from the different live tracking features, and then will send this information to XATrack. That's the way you had configured yours. Within XAGuide, it's also, in the past, we had to update the FLARM license. I said we had to because now it's not necessary anymore. There will be in the quite near future a new version of the firmware that will support ADSL. It's a new type of communication way tool, protocol. It's not yet ready, but soon. And then it will be also the way to update the FLARM firmware through XA Guide. So if you want to do that, you need to click on the Air³ logo, then you directly reach within the XA Guide menu the place where to make sure that you have activated the module. You need to also activate the module there. Basically, you take the last one, the horizon, FLARM horizon, and then when you are there, you can click on the FLARM button. I think it's the next slide, yeah. And then you will download and update the firmware.
ADSL is a light version of ADSB, correct? ADSL,
It's kind of FLARM,
yeah,
but with mainly for drones and so on. So that there will be a lot of devices that will have ADSL, so that you will have more chance to avoid collision with ADSL.
I don't think Australia's going to do it. I don't think Australia will get ADSL. We're only going to stick with ADSB. It'll be an international thing.
So it's not a transponder, so you cannot say it's just kind of ADSB. It's something different.
Yeah, but Safe Sky should provide us with all the ADSB needed in teaming and the tracker.
Yeah, that's something not very important. And that's it. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
But maybe the questions now.
The other day I stuffed up and forgot to change the start time. So I'm above all, I'm thinking I've got to change the start time. I can do it manually. Could I have gone into the menus and changed the start time and not upset the track lock?
And not upset the track lock?
Yeah. You can.
That's a good question. I don't know.
I reckon you could.
It works.
Yeah.
Normally something completely different.
Yeah, okay. When I take instances before I was having to
What was the issue that you had?
Sorry?
What was the issue that you had? So you needed to change the.
I needed to change the start time.
Okay, but you had an issue with that.
And just said, okay, I know I'm half an hour out, but I didn't have speed to start or anything like that.
So you changed the speed, the start time.
Yeah.
They changed the start time, and I didn't change it on my engine.
So
I'm
effectively,
flying, I'm waiting for the start, saying it's 1 o'clock start. No, I know it's a 1:30 start. If I went into the menus, I wasn't sure whether that was going to upset the track log.
It doesn't. It's something completely different.
Yeah.
track log's just the track log.
Yeah. Okay, I've had track logs before interrupted while in flight, so I'm just asking the question. Is it possible to change this?
I think it has nothing to do, so you can do whatever you want into your task while you are flying. It doesn't affect the track log.
Okay. That's why I just ran it manually.
Other questions?
I've got a question that I'll ask you later, probably because it's more personal and it's about the display brightness of my current model.
All right.
I'll quickly do it because others might have the same. That's my model, you know it straight away, I'm sure. That's the build number, etc. And I'm just noticing against the rules of one which is decided by it's just the new display.
This one, that's a new display.
Yeah, okay.
This one is 2000 nits.
Yeah, that's what
This
it
is
is.
1000 nits. Make it show.
Yeah.
Yes, the one with the white button is the one with at least 1300 nits.
Yeah.
And the one at 2200 nits.
Yeah.
So much brighter.
Yeah.
Oh, my son.
So now it's the two up to 8.
Right, there's the song at the end of
No.
There was a point where you had to turn off the sound on the rip and to go into the So I used to get both the X1 and the thing, but I think it's